Welcome back to the channel, guys. I do apologize. I took about a week or so hiatus for two reasons. A, I was away. B, I hurt my ankle, unfortunately, so I haven't been able to really get a lot of stuff done. But thank you guys for sticking with me. You guys really like my content. I actually did one or two videos since then. But here's a rig for you. I got a cooler for it. I haven't really cleaned it up or anything like that. But as you guys can see in the title, you'll know what this is all about. I spent less than $300 for windows, a Kohler, an IO shield. Some of the issues you find with buying used parts, it had no IO shield, the Kohler was all cherry rig, and I had to buy windows and everything like that. But we got it done, less than $300, so welcome back. Is it possible? Gaming under $300, episode 2. Let's find out what she can do. So most of this was purchased from one person. The i5 2500K was purchased from a build. The Kohler was not, because he used an H50 that didn't have proper mounting. The 1 gig or 1 8 gig DDR3 stick was purchased elsewhere. The board was purchased from the same guy. The IO shield was purchased on eBay because he was missing an IO shield. Actually, I bought a broken version of the board and just used for the IO shield. The SSD was purchased on a previous project that I never actually used it, so I figured why bother. The hard drive, the power supply, the case, and the GPU are all purchased from the same guy as well. And then I went to Kingwin for the Windows key. Now, I'm going to stop using my Kingwin affiliate code in the description below. The reason why is a lot of people have had mixed opinions on it, and while I will still continue to use it to reduce cost of my customers, I don't think I really feel right promoting it anymore. So, anyway, now that that is out of the way, $297, $1 less than the previous one. Let's take a look and see how well I did this time. So we're kicking off a For Honor this time for one reason and one reason only. And that is, I tested 1080p on the previous rig. I also did GTA 5, but I took that off my SSD, my external one, because I didn't have enough room. So, as you can see, it definitely performed a little bit better in GTA 5, the i5 2500K and the HD 7950 versus the FX 6100 and the R7 370 4 gig. I did not test a 1440p on the previous one, but in this scenario, definitely almost a 60 FPS average, 1080p high settings on For Honor. I'm really happy with those results, but let's see if this trend continues. Ghost Recon Wildlands ran honestly not as well as I had expected. At 1080p on high settings, even though we did not exhaust the VRAM, I was not running comfortably 36 FPS average. Now, going ahead to 1440p, it did even worse, 23 FPS average. I think that a little more needs to be looked into, because I did a 3770K with the GTX 770 that did a fair bit better with less VRAM and exhausting its VRAM completely and requiring system memory with even higher latency to make up for the lack of GDDR5. So, not real happy about these results, but this is a pretty demanding game. Let's go ahead and take a look at Rise of the Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider fared a little bit better, around just shy of 45 FPS average, which isn't bad. That means your lows are going to be probably in the 30s and your highs are going to be in the 60s. High settings, definitely turn it down to medium. We probably would have gotten better results. Definitely did not hold up very well in 1440p. Another 10 FPS average drop, meaning you're going to be in the 20s on the lows and probably in the 40s or maybe real low 50s on the high end. But, I mean, for $300, I don't think this is exactly bad. Tweak the settings, anti-aliasing, stuff like that. You'll probably get much, much better results. Again, we're talking about a $297 computer. And last but not very least, Ashes of the Singularity. Did it indeed agree with me this time? Well, let's find out. Finally, I get results that make sense. So I ran this test multiple times, and the problem with this test is you have to run it for 3 minutes. You have to reboot every single time you change settings, the actual game, and the game does not load that quickly even off an external SSD. But I was getting 34 to 37 FPS at 1080p, average to 35.2, and 28 to 32 FPS average at 1440p. So the average in all the results made sense for one. So I'm really happy about this. probably more happy about this than the actual results that I got. But exactly what I expected it to be, even compared to a GTX 770. So I think this was a win. We got much better performing results on this system than the last. So let's go ahead, let's wrap it up, and let's get to my final thoughts. So conclusion time. Is this series worth it? I like this series. It's not really Scrap Hero Wars with like what Linus does necessarily, because I found some really good deals and I've seen some really bad deals recently. But I really like the series because if you have the skills, but if you fall in hard times like I have recently with some of the purchases and things I've tried to do was not worth it, can you put together something and just game? Maybe not the highest settings or the highest resolution, but we'll get the job done. In this system, I think did a better job than the last system. And mind you, I didn't even overclock anything. The board didn't want to overclock, but I didn't really tweak anything very much. So I think episode 2 was definitely a success. A little teaser. This card is currently not in my rig. Why? Well, I'm not going to answer that question here. You guys are going to have to wait a little bit to find out why this RX 580 is not in my rig. It's actually on eBay right now. So not that I'm going to link that in the description, but we'll talk later about that. But thank you guys for staying tuned. I actually gained like 20 subscribers while I was gone, so I definitely really appreciate it. And I'm trying to catch up all the comments, so I really appreciate that. But this is Steve from PC Budget Solutions, and I'll see you guys later on down the road.